Hi folks, welcome to another beer review, slightly different angle, trying to diversify the content, and we've got a clothes horse in the background because no shame. So today we're... Oh, you twat. So today, I'm not starting again. Today we're going over to Sureshot. Still can't find my tripod. I just don't know where it's gone. But we're going over to Sureshot and we're having a look at Judge, Judy and Executioner. Double dry hopped IPA, 6.5% ABV. Double dry hopped IPA brewed in collaboration with Welsh lawmen Polly's. I didn't know this was a Polly's collab. Are they actually on? Oh. I didn't know it was a Polly's collab. Idiot. Yeah. So Dorado Lupomax. Is that like the hop version of Cinemax? Citra Galaxy dispense hard tropical justice with an iron gavel. The rulings are final. She is the law. 6.5% ABV, 2.9 units. I've never mentioned units. But yeah, picked this up from Ancoats Corner Store, whatever it's called. I can't remember. And yeah, the name and the hot bill sold this to me. And I'm sure the fact that Polly's, if I'd have known at the time of buying it, that they were involved, I would have probably bought it anyway, because I'm a big fan of Polly's, and Sureshot are definitely making waves. Although I do welcome other beer styles that they do, aside from the pales, IPAs and blah 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 blah. But to be honest, in this brewing landscape, it's probably the only real way you're going to make a, not only like a name for yourself, but also to get the revenue in what is a very turbulent, even now, industry, really. Not because of like competitiveness and underhanded techniques between breweries, but just because the costs. I mean, we've seen so many breweries, tap rooms, bars, restaurants, delis, all sorts, unfortunately having to fold. So a good way for brewers, and let's face it, Sureshot, very good brewing heritage. Best way to establish yourself is to get those popular styles in, and they do it very, very well. So using my St. Mars of the Desert glass, I love this glass. I don't drink enough St. Mars of the Desert, to be fair. We will have to rectify that. But anyway, we're not here to talk about St. Mars or Smod. We're here to talk about Polly's and Sureshot. Beer in the glass then, and it's a really hazy, dense looking IPA. It's almost got like a chalky sort of yellowy amber. Sort of works quite nicely with the light bleeding into the room. But yeah, looking very, very nice indeed, with one finger's worth of a nice, foamy, almost creamy looking head. I've had a couple of beers tonight. This is the last beer of the night because I've got to be fresh as a daisy tomorrow for Liverpool Craft Beer Expo. So we'll call it a night after this, and probably have about 5 packs of crisp while I'm in bed, because, you know, are you British if you don't take crisps to bed? Or you could just be an absolute fat, lonely waster like me. I haven't been self-deprecative in a video for a long time. Anyway, I was in obviously I was in Manchester because that's where I picked this beer up, and I was tempted to pop into Sureshot, but I just didn't end up doing it for some reason. So I'll definitely be popping in next time I'm in Manchester, because I want to get myself some nice merch, because I do like their merch. And I have it on good authority from my good friend Rob from Hopsy that they're actually normal sizings, because guess what, brewers? Not everybody you cater for is part of a running or cycling club. Some of us don't give a shit about our health, and we just want to live our life the way we can, eating what we want when we want, drinking what we want when we want. And yeah, so not everyone's a fitness freak, and I wish brewers would like actually take note of that. I don't give a flying fuck about your Lycra brewery cycling t-shirt, because let's face it, cyclists have destroyed our roads with these well, I'm talking about Wigan. That's the only example that I've got is Wigan. The new cycle lanes in Wigan, it's like so unnecessary, because cyclists can drive in bus lanes. And now because we've got new cycle lanes, it's probably just a logistical mess on Wigan Council, because let's face it, Wigan Council are a bunch of arsewipes. And this is coming from someone who lives in Skelmersdale, where we're probably the most neglected and forgotten town in Northern England, even though we've got an absolute hub of industry, with big companies setting up shop and having bases in our industrial estates. But I think you could say that for a lot of northern towns. Anyway, we're not here to get political, we're here to drink beer. And that's what happens when breweries don't do proper sizes. I mean, Beak, this t-shirt, I mean, I'll never look good in a white t-shirt. I've got too many lumps. I've got breasts that a lot of women would be jealous of. I've got a beer belly that makes a child's drawing look realistic. Do have wonderfully skinny legs and a nice shapely bottom though. So all is not lost. Anyway, should we just shut up and give the beer a sniff? I think we should. Oh, straight away there's a big waft. Oh, man, that smells very much like a Polly's beer. You know, when some breweries have like distinct characteristics. Oh man, that's a big, bold aroma. Getting a lot of like raspberry Mauan bars. A little bit of sherbet. Even got like a raspberry child's yogurt. Oh, that smells absolutely wonderful. And it almost smells like a berry scented wax melt. A little bit of a almost lime sharpness in terms of a citrus character or presence. Oh, man, this smells absolutely fantastic. What hops are in this? Dorado, Citra and Galaxy. Yeah, I think it's a good, definitely a good showing of the Citra and Galaxy. Dorado, I don't. What would be distinct about Dorado? I'm not too sure. But yeah, very sherbety, I would say. Very, very sherbety. Oh, that smells absolutely fantastic. Let's give it a taste. Cheers. And apologies to all the cyclists. When I lived in Germany, that's how I got about. And I probably should get on my bike a little bit more. But yeah, I just can't be bothered getting the tyre sorted, and plus cycling around Skem. It's too much of a close-minded town, and yeah. Anyway, we won't. You shouldn't really bash your hometown, but when you come from Skelmersdale, it's very easily done. Anyway, should we just shut up and drink this beer? Mm. Wow. I've had quite a few IPAs and pales recently because it's that rare occurrence where I've actually gone beyond the supermarket and bought interesting beers. A little bit of a floral character to this, in the nicest possible way. Slight potpourri, or pot puree, as some people like to call it. Mind you, for the longest time, I thought it was pronounced dime bar, but it's actually pronounced Dame bar. Anyway. Yeah, a little bit of floral character. I've just said potpourri, and you can't get a subtle potpourri, so it's got to be a little bit more than a little bit of a floral character. Maybe that's what the Eldorado's bringing to the beer, I don't know. A little bit of a lime, just like the nose, citrusy character. Definitely got a sugary, sherbety fruit flavour. And I think I am still leaning onto the raspberry. Not like an overly synthetic sort of way, but there's definitely a raspberry yogurt element to it. It's somehow a subtle beer, but potent at the same time. Slightly herbal aftertaste, I would say. A little bit of lemon sherbet. And very specific lemon sherbet. The ones that used to come in the little, those little plastic tubes where you'd rip the top off. When I think of sherbet, I always think of, no, not that sort of sherbet. I always get taken back to high school because there'd always be an ice cream van. Not lurking around, they were contracted to visit the school on lunchtime. So an ice cream van would come. And it was very common and popular in our high school for kids to get a full cone full of sherbet. No ice cream, just full on sherbet, a big cone full. And there was also a trend of kids sniffing the sherbet as if it was cocaine. And you've got to think, I mean, high school age, we're a lot more, well, nowadays it's much worse, isn't it, really? I mean, I'm 34 years old, so 14, because obviously you leave high school. Oh my God, it's so depressing. It's so depressing how far away high school is. Like, you know when people my age talk about how old they feel, and then you get people who are like, oh, well, just wait till you're in your 40s and your 50s. And it's like, that's a completely different, mindset. Because it's depressing as fuck for a 30-year-old to think about being in high school than it is for someone in their 40s, 50s and 60s. Because there's such a big difference in terms of the generation gap. That's depressing, and it's where am I now? I'm still in my hometown. Do you know what I mean? In a minimum wage job, went to uni twice, lived in Germany, and then I'm back in at this place. Do you know what I mean? It's like, this is a bit of a bit. It does depress me sometimes. But yeah, it's like mental to think that it's not that long ago, but it seems like ages ago. And it's a whole lifetime ago. And I'm not ashamed as a 30. I'm not going to be shamed by someone older than me going on, well, how do you think I feel? It's like, it's completely different, Brenda. Nigel, it's fine. That'd be a good name for a beer, that. Nigel, it's fine. That's a different mindset and jump to what... Oh God, I sound like such a whiny millennial right now. I hate millennials. I hate my generation because there's no backbone. Everything offends them. And it's like, maybe we should go back to the nuclear family sort of thing. But then there's some very problematic sexism from back then, which I do not agree with. But, you know, at least... See, my generation is the generation that cries because people clap too loudly and have to ask people to silent clap because it might distress some people. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, life wasn't like that when I was 16 years old at high school, watching people literally getting bloody noses from sniffing sherbet. Because surely, I mean, I'd be lying if I said I haven't partaken in a little bit of this. But surely, as a child sniffing sherbet, that might have a bit more of a problem medically than... No, it doesn't, because cocaine's an awful drug, isn't it? But it's not good. And you weren't hard. You were just a bit of a knobhead. But somehow, the knobheads in high school are the ones who prosper in adult life. This video's caused me to open a proper can of worms. But it's good beer. Very sherbety. A little bit earthy and herbal. Potpourri. I'm not sure where that potpourri character's come from, because it's a little bit perfumey. And I've been really struggling to come up with some Judge Judy based puns. I'm not too sure how they came to the conclusion of brewing a beer to reference Judge Judy. But the beer itself, very, very good. And I'm going to say it, it's very... And this is such a cop-out answer, but if you like Polly's, this tastes very much... It tastes and smells very much like a Polly's beer. I think that's the floral side, because maybe... A lot of the Polly's beers that I've had do have a floral character to them. And in fact, a lot of the beer names have floral connotations. But you know what? It's a very, very good IPA. Very distinct. There's just something about it that's very intriguing. And, yeah, just realised some of the shit that I've mentioned in this beer review. But that's what it's all about. So I'm having a bit of a laugh. Yeah. Anyway, really nice beer. Give it a try. I've got another Sureshot in the fridge. I'm not going to open anymore because I want to be fresh as a daisy, keeping with that floral theme for tomorrow at Liverpool Craft Beer Expo. I might see one or two of yous there and be very awkward when you say, oh, I watch your YouTube videos, because I hate people. No, I don't hate it, because I'm not going to hate someone, you know, having the decency to come up and say hello to me because they're like watching my beer reviews. But I'm that socially awkward and anxious that I do kind of hate when people recognise me, because I'm not an outlandish, extroverted person. God, I'm really laying it on thick in this video, aren't I? But I do appreciate it. It just takes me aback. I'm aghast. I'm flabbergasted. But I'm just a socially awkward cripple emotionally. So if I do see any of yous at Liverpool Craft Beer Expo and I seemed a bit off, it's just because I'm too socially awkward. It's like in the odd occasion when at like festivals or something, and someone from Brew goes, oh, we loved your review of this. I'm like, oh God, they watch one of my reviews. I mean, I did die a little, but enjoyed it when the guy from New Barnes said, oh, we loved your beer review. We loved the fact that you enjoyed it so much you wanted to stick the can up your arse. And then I was like, do I really say shit like that on camera? Probably wouldn't say it in person, face to face, because I'm just a mess of a person. I'm the sort of person who will, you know, when you were a kid and you went upstairs because there were guests and you were too socially awkward. I think I still do shit like that now at the age of 34. 34 years old. 6 years off being 40. Life goes a bit downhill at 30, but then apparently life begins at 40. So I think between 30 and 40, you're in a bit of a lull period. I think that is like the period of time where you look back and realise just how much you fucked up. But one of my all-time heroes, Anthony Bourdain, did very much instill in me the fact that it's okay to fuck up, because you learn from fucking up. You don't learn from getting it right because you've got it right. You can learn, because you'll learn a more efficient way of doing it right the next time. But if you don't make mistakes, you don't learn, but you have to choose to learn. Because if you make mistakes, you dwell on them and you can continue to make that mistake. So you've got to learn. So it's okay to fuck up. It's genuinely okay to fuck up. And trust me, I've fucked up quite a few times. But I'm still relatively happy, even though life is a cruel void of darkness where the only way you can make yourself happy and positive is through your own means. You can't depend on anyone else. Life is fundamentally miserable, and you can only make it as good as you are prepared or willing to make it to be. So that's my I can't believe Jerry Springer's dead as well. I'm sure Sureshot will make a Jerry Springer homage at some point. Anyway, this is a fucking mess of a beer. Really nice beer though. Leafy. Interesting. It's an interesting beer. I haven't tasted an IPA like that for a hell of a long time. And I would recommend. So if you've tried it, then let me know your thoughts, opinions down below. If you're still of a positive disposition and don't want to fucking end it all after listening to me drone on, then fantastic. Yeah, go check out Sureshot, go check out Polly's, and all the information will be in the description. Anyway, it's all an act. A lot of what I do on camera is bullshit. It's me trying to be Andy Kaufman. Play my cards close to my chest in real life, and then because there's no one else around and I'm talking to a camera, that's when, is he being honest? Is he being a bit disingenuous? Is he genuinely miserable? That's the whole mystique that I'm building up, because well, let's face it, the way I'm going now, got 20 years at best before my arteries clog up, and people will look back and think, do you know what? He's a fucking weirdo, but a genius. So, yeah. I'm just making this YouTube channel. Do you not get it? I'm making a time capsule. A fictionalised time capsule. And, yeah. I'm going to shut up now. Thank you for watching. You all take care. Stay safe. And I've just realised I might be drooling. Maybe it'll be a matter of months. Who knows? So cheers for watching. You all take care. Stay safe. And I shall hopefully see you all later. Tatty buys.